I used to think that I would die of shame. Now I think I'd die of loneliness. Well, who wouldn't? Humans are social creatures, wired to seek out and crave touch, warmth, and connection. From the first time we are cradled by our mothers to the last time someone holds our hands when we pass away, touch is integral to our development, our identity, and our survival. And yet our growing disconnection from each other is one of the major issues facing our society today. But what if there's a twist in this tale? What if the answer to our need for touch doesn't lie in connecting with other humans, but with machines? It sounds bizarre, I know, but stick with me until the end because this journey is going to take us beyond the cold hard reality of today's robotics into a world where warm hugs aren't just for people anymore. You might be thinking, why are we even talking about robot hugs? Robots don't get lonely, do they? Well, you're not wrong. But here's the thing, we're not just talking about any robots. We're talking about advanced robots. Robots that have the ability to understand our emotions, anticipate our needs, and respond in kind. In fact, we're talking about a future where these robots become so integral to our lives that we consider them more than just machines. We call them companions. Now let's dive into the heart of the matter. Today's robots are marvels of engineering and precision, but they're still limited by the laws of physics and the boundaries of logic. They excel at repetitive tasks, complex calculations, and heavy lifting, but they're not equipped to handle the complexities of human emotion or the nuances of physical sensation. But what if that changes? Imagine a future where companion robots not only understand our emotions, but also experience a rudimentary form of their own. Picture a robotic arm that instead of feeling stiff and mechanical, feels like a warm embrace. A gentle pressure that mimics the comforting squeeze of a loved one. This might sound like science fiction, but the science is already there. It's just waiting for the fiction to catch up. The question is, why would we want to do this? What's the point of making robots that can feel like humans? Well, turns out there's a lot more to a hug than meets the eye. And I don't mean those memes about how a hug can make everything better. I'm talking about the real, tangible benefits that touch can provide. Physically, touch releases oxytocin, reduces stress hormones, and lowers blood pressure. It's literally a natural remedy. But what about our robot companions? Could touch help them too? Imagine a robot that gets a little warmer, a little fuzzier after a particularly tough task. That's not just cute. It could be a sign of a healthier, happier robot. But wait, there's more. Robots rely on moving parts, gears, sensors, and motors. These components work best within a certain temperature range. Too hot or too cold and they start to break down. But a nice warm hug could help maintain the perfect temperature, reducing wear and tear and extending the robot's life. It's like preventive maintenance, only cuter and cozier. And let's not forget about trust. We tend to trust people we know, but also those who show empathy and understanding. A robot that can sense our emotions and respond with a comforting touch would likely inspire more trust, leading to better collaboration and potentially even affection. Think about it. Would you be more likely to open up to a robot that could understand your feelings through touch? Now let's turn our attention to the design of these future robots. Today's machines are sleek, shiny, and often made of metal, but a huggable robot would need a different approach. What if the outer shell of a robot was made of a soft, pliable material like fabric or even skin? What if it had a fuzzy texture that mimicked the warmth of a living creature? This isn't just about aesthetics. It's about function too. Fabric and skin-like materials could conduct heat better, helping the robot maintain its internal temperature. Plus, they would feel more natural to touch, blurring the line between machine and living being even further. But what about the insides? Today's electronics are marvels of miniaturization, but they're not exactly cuddly. Processors, sensors, and batteries are typically encased in hard plastic or metal shells. But a huggable robot would need something different. What if these components were embedded in a soft, squishy material, kind of like a body pillow with brains? It might sound unconventional, but it could be incredibly effective. Soft, squishy electronics are not only more huggable, but they're also flexible, which could lead to new forms of movement and interaction. Imagine a robot that could squish and cuddle instead of just rolling around on wheels. Of course, there are engineering challenges to solve here. Traditional electronics are designed to be as small and lightweight as possible, but a huggable robot would need its components to be larger and more robust. There's also the risk of overheating to consider. After all, a robot that gets too hot could literally burn your arms off. But these are problems that can be solved with innovation and creativity. In fact, there are already prototypes out there of soft, squishy robots made from materials like silicone and polyester. It might not be long before we see commercial products that are both functional and fabulous. So let's take a moment to imagine what a hug-friendly robot might look like in 2035. Perhaps it is a personal assistant that greets you with a warm smile and a soft squeeze. Maybe it's a healthcare companion that monitors your vitals while providing a comforting touch. Or maybe it's simply a friend that's always there for you, ready with a listening ear and a warm hug. The possibilities are really endless. But here's the thing. As we continue to explore the idea of huggable robots, we might just be revealing more about ourselves than we initially thought. Our desire to integrate touch and warmth into our interactions with machines shows how much these things matter to us. It reflects our longing for connection, our need for comfort, and our constant search for meaning in an increasingly technological world. As we move forward, it is crucial to ask questions about what we want from our technology and how we want to interact with it. Do we want our robots to be more human, or do we want to teach them to be themselves? Because as strange as it may seem, robots can teach us as much about humanity as we can teach them about technology. A world where robots can hug us back may still be a distant reality, but the idea itself is a powerful reminder of the importance of touch, warmth, and connection in our lives. It's a reminder that even in the coldest, hardest realities, there's always room for a little warmth. What do you think? Is the idea of huggable robots appealing to you, or does it seem too strange and unrealistic? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe Hanum Cartoon for more fascinating discussions about the future of technology and its impact on our world. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.